I said, what up?
You do that.
We
Make
about
it
to
so.
get it in.
That was good. Everybody be ready to fight with you, nigga. Every time. I swear. Everybody be ready to fight. Good.
Nick come with that energy. That's all.
Good. Let's go. But then I'm a mild mannered. I'm just a mild mannered
You're not
recruiter.
Clark Kent. Don't do that.
Well, like I said, we was a little serious. I'd have cussed him out. And then I'd have got to my point.
What up, y'all? Everybody hit that like button. You see, YouTube is slowing us down. Get those people in here, YouTube. Stop playing. You know I'm talking to you, YouTube. Hey, they say that shit is surging again. Not on my watch. Motherfuckers get mad at me for spraying it down. I'm gonna spray it down and lay it down every single time.
From the DNC in Chicago, August 19th through the 23rd. Dominic DePrima, Ecorlai Corte, Arriva Martin, Adrian Shropshire, and Tavis Smiley will all be in Chicago bringing the convention to you like no other talk station in Southern California for the critical issues and conversations that matter most to you. Keep it locked to KBLA Talk 1580. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got Kamala covered.
Man, you ain't lying.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on because it takes two to tango, and I need to hit his side of the story. So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain.
Sorry.
She keeps playing silly games, and I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light. See the
Yo, yo, yo. Yeah, 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 yeah. Hit the like button. Come on. Everybody hit that like button for your brother, please. Everybody, please hit the like button. It's important. The like button is free. That's the easiest way to support the channel. Okay? Hit the like button.
So one of the things that I've been studying and thinking about is high achievement among people in general, and this is also something that I don't think is given any serious consideration in our discussion of the differences between the sexes. So, the number of people who are extremely high achieving in any field is very low, right? And that depends on a Pareto principle essentially, and that works itself out mathematically so that the square root of the number of people in a domain do half the work. So if you have 100 scientists working in a particular subfield, then 10 of them will publish half the articles. And if you look at that tiny percentage of people who are hyperproductive, they're almost all men. And so like in universities, the median number of publications for men and women is very close. But the high publishers are all men. And the reason for that is because in order to be in that category, not only do you have to be extraordinarily smart and extraordinarily conscientious, but associated with that conscientiousness, you have to be able to devote something like 60 to 80 hours a week of solid attention to your job, because otherwise people will outcompete you, right? So it's these extremely focused and narrow people who are
obsessive.
That's exactly right. They're absolutely obsessed with what they're doing, and they're quite rare. And that they're also the mystery that needs to be solved, because the fact that most people want to have a balanced life and that most people aren't absolutely obsessed with a single issue to the exclusion of all else is actually normative behavior and quite understandable. You get this extreme personality, let's say, and it's certainly not something I'm criticizing, but it's not the common lot. And I do believe that it's a far more difficult thing for women to manage, because once you're responsible for someone else, like you are primarily responsible for small children, then it's extraordinarily difficult to concentrate like that to the exclusion of all else. And I've seen a couple of women that I've had professional relationships with. Usually worked in the capacity of something like an executive coach in my clinical practice, who've kind of managed that, but they're so stretched. They're concerned with the number of seconds that they have to microwave their food. They're hyper organized, and even then it's very difficult for them to manage, because they're juggling 4 or 5 impossible things at the same time, and often also guilt-ridden because they feel that they're not paying enough attention to their children. And generally they are, and they make very good role models, but it's a hell of a thing to expect of someone who also has
Okay, I hear, Jordan Peterson, I hear you. You're basically saying that men are smarter because we're obsessive and hyper focused, and I think there was an illusion there that because women nurture, he brought up the children, because women nurture, they just don't have the capacity to be as narrowly focused as men. I think that's what he was trying to get to. This is an interesting piece here, because I've been hearing this for many years. And a lot of brothers, they get scraped by women that they perceive to be smarter than them. Tonight's topic, navigating the fine line between intelligence and arrogance in relationship, right? Exploring the impact of education on perceptions of women. When women get super educated, do they become super condescending? There's a lot of men running around basically saying that the more educated, the more successful, right? The higher up the corporate ladder they go, the more condescending they become. I, for one, do not believe this to be true. I believe there are some women like that 100%. But do I believe all women are like that? No. Just as I don't believe that all men are intimidated by a woman's success or her education level. And for good measure, just because you're highly educated does not mean you are highly intelligent. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm going to put that out early. Why does a relationship with a more highly educated woman seem to intimidate some men? Men, I want you to be honest. Do you want to be able to have every single answer for your woman? I'm just asking. Is that part of your manhood? Do you feel like if you can't answer every one of her questions, that you are somehow less than a man? Or even worse, another man might show up and answer the question for you, which makes you less attractive. Do most men show less attraction towards intelligent women? Yeah, I found some research that said, yeah, most men are less attractive to intelligent women. Why is that? I'm really interested to know what you guys think tonight. True or false? Yeah, this is going to be hard. Knowledge puffeth up. 1 Corinthians chapter 8, verse 1. Becoming more knowledgeable or intellectual in a certain discipline can result in a higher likelihood of arrogance and ego. Is the same true for the highly educated woman? Because I hear smart men getting called arrogant all the time. I've been called arrogant. You think you know everything. No. You just want somebody to agree. No. You got an answer for everything. No, I do not. I would like to have a conversation with someone who is not going to take offense. I mean, I think insecure people do not like intelligent people, right? Insecure about themselves, insecure about their self-image, their sense of self, and even insecure about their level of education, right? And when you're around somebody that you know, oh wow, this person is smarter than me. You know, typically for the average person who's wearing the Carl Jung mask, they want to puff themselves up to look like. Have you ever been in a conversation with somebody, you say something deep and they got to re-say what you said, but only in their language, in their parlance? And then it becomes this competition of he said something profound, so I got to say something profound. It happens a lot on podcasts, right? And it happens a lot in relationships. This is how you know you're dealing with an intellectually insecure person, because they can't bask in the profundity of what you said. They have to go mind their mind for an equally profound statement. And this is happening in relationships. And this is what I don't like. Arrogance, ego. A lot of people are afraid to attribute some of these terms to women. Yes, women can be exceedingly arrogant and condescending. I want to know, have you ever been with a woman who kind of threw her academic weight around? Well, you wouldn't know anything about that because, you know, you only have your bachelor's. I, however, am Dr. Christine. You know, I want to know, have you ever been bullied by your woman's intelligence? And was she doing the bullying, or was it your insecurities that were doing the bullying? Are disagreeable traits found more frequently in women that are highly educated? If so, why might this be? And how does this affect their desirability in heterosexual dating and relationships? Do men with higher levels of education face more scrutiny in regard to their behavior and or demeanor in relationship? Very interesting question. Are some men intimidated by the education / intellectual prowess of a woman? Now, I've been told on numerous occasions, Zoe, you hard-headed. You don't listen. Right? Now, let me just say, There are some people out there, according to Dr. Peterson, he was like only 10% of the super smart are actually doing all the work, right? So you might have somebody with a high major degree, but that doesn't mean they are contextually intelligent. They might be intelligent within their major, within their field, but outside of their field, they could be a lot like Ben Carson. We all know how Ben Carson looked when he ran for president. Yes, he's one of the greatest neurosurgeons ever. He was Doctor Strange with the neurosurgery. But in politics, it was like Magic running the Lakers. It wasn't good. I'm sorry. I digress. I'm just. So you could have a highly intelligent man or female in a relationship, but they may only be intelligent in a certain field. And I'm just so interested. Men, you got to call in tonight because I want to know, have you been bullied by the plaques on your woman's wall? Have they made you feel small? I want to know. When we come forward, the voice of reason shall continue this cook-up. Call in, brothers and sisters. I want to hear from y'all. Get to your phone lines. Let's go. Let's make this a conversation, guys. Let's talk. And don't be afraid to support the channel, people. Don't be afraid to support the channel. Y'all hit that super chat or the cash app. Hey, man, I'd appreciate the cash apps and the super chat to go up. Let's do it. 41 people. Everybody drop a 4 spot, a 3 spot, a 2 spot, and leave me a message so I can holler back.
Hey, John, why so glum? I just got let go. The company's downsizing.
Call me now. 42 people, only 26 likes. Unacceptable. Yo, it's been a lot going on out here in nature. So last night I was watching the news, and I rarely ever watch the news. Come on, man. Thank you, John Gilbreth. We appreciate you, brother. Emergency room visit. Yes. A lot of weird shit going on in nature. Last night, like I said, I don't normally watch the news. I mean, I have cable or whatever on my television, but I'm usually Disney, HBO Max, Amazon Prime, something like that. But this time I was like surfing through to find some regular channels, local channels, and I was watching the news. We had a giant whale wash up on the ocean, or on the shore, a huge whale. They said it was a fin whale, which is the second largest whale next to the blue whale. And it beached itself, and it was alive when it beached itself, but then shortly thereafter, it died. They said it wasn't in good condition. Then they showed a damn puma, a mountain lion, that jumped in somebody's yard and killed a pit bull. Then we had an earthquake.
didn't take dating very seriously. I dated in med school. I dated people in med school. I didn't take it very seriously. In my 30s, I still was that way through half of my 30s. But what happened was around the time I started freezing my eggs, my latter part of my 30s, I actually started panicking about the fact that I wasn't married. And I remember specifically talking to my mom being like, why didn't I take this seriously? Why didn't I make better decisions? And I started thinking back to all the guys I dated being like, oh, should I go back? Maybe he was the one. Why did I, and I tortured myself. I crucified myself because I said, how could you not have taken this seriously? What did you do? You let all this time pass, and now you're almost 40, and what the flip? How did we get here? Because all of a sudden, I was approaching 40, and my parents were like, you need to freeze your eggs. I was like, ah! And I was really hard on myself during that time. I really, really was hard on myself. I was remorseful. I was regretful. I was embarrassed, and I felt like I had wasted a lot of time. And then, in my 40s, which I am, I'm proud to say that things have gotten a little bit better for me, meaning how much or little rather I beat myself up. The reason why I haven't gotten married is honestly because I haven't found him yet. And you know what? It was one day that it literally took me waking up one morning where I had blamed myself and said, well, maybe you are too picky. Well, maybe you are crazy. And maybe you didn't take this seriously. And why didn't you do this? And why weren't you this? And I can't believe you did this. And how did you let 15 years go by without thinking about this?
Very interesting. A lot of women have that perspective. How do societal norms and cultural expectations influence the way we perceive and value intelligence in women versus men? Do we somehow think women are not as smart as us? Because I hear a lot of men saying, what? You need direction. If you can't follow, I heard brothers say this. Brothers have said this. If you can't follow direction, you don't deserve protection. I've heard this. I've heard brothers say this. Now, not all brothers. That is not the sentiment of all brothers. But I've heard a faction of brothers say, hey, you don't follow direction, you don't deserve protection. Interesting stuff. There's people in the chat commenting on it now. How can individuals challenge and redefine these norms to create more inclusive and equitable relationships based on mutual respect and appreciation for each other's differences, right? What role does emotional intelligence play in bridging the gap between intellectual disparities in relationship? How can emotional awareness, empathy, and vulnerability serve as a powerful tool for building intimacy, trust, and connection with a highly intelligent partner? In what ways can the cultivation of self-love, self-acceptance, and self-confidence empower individuals to embrace their own unique gifts and talents without feeling threatened or diminished by the intelligence of others? Listen, it's not just intelligence, right? It's not. It's money, it's success, it's resources. Oftentimes, we're jealous of a lot of things. I'm not going to call this couple out, but I've seen a couple that was jealous, or one person in the relationship was jealous that their career was nosediving and their partner's career was taking off. They were jealous about it. They were envious. They were covetous. It's not just intelligence. It might also be opportunity. I think we compete and compare ourselves against our partners a lot. And I think our insecurities manifest in this space. How can men and women co-create a relationship dynamic that honors and respects each other's unique strengths, gifts, and contributions, regardless of the educational background or intellectual prowess? What are some practices, maybe some practical strategies for fostering mutual growth, empowerment, and harmony in relationships characterized by intellectual diversity? Yeesh. Very interesting stuff. This is going to be big. We've got somebody on the line that wants to talk about it. My brother, John from Mountain View, Hawaii. Talk to me. What are your thoughts?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if this conversation is going to have us all in the hospital or calling each other by shaking his fist. But at the same time, let me go to the lowest portion of this and work my way up from there.
Okay.
When men are in their feelings, they destroy the world by their head.
Oh, we'll keep going.
When women destroy the world, they speak.
Hmm.
And it's not to the point that we're here to destroy the world. It's just a part of the chaos that we have to go through.
Mm-hmm.
And most of that's got something to do with learning self.
Mm-hmm.
So as we know, this day and age currently, this is the least the world has actually seen crime, especially in the black community, by men.
Really?
But guess who's on the judgment side of that call?
Who?
If you was in the city of Atlanta, or better yet, our current vice president-elect, currently, or the one being selected, did she or did she not keep people in jail? And you could test this by your own might, Mr. Zoe, because it happened in San Francisco, right?
Bay Area,
Whereas
yeah.
as a guy who was supposed to be tested for DNA, and his life was on the line, and she was like, nah, I don't know.
Oof.
One of her talking points in the conversation as she becomes what she wants to be, the president. She says, I have mightier information in the pen stroke that I have.
Oh, yeah. She was like, it's a lot of power. Yeah.
Misdemeanor.
Yeah. She said, yeah. Uh-oh. I wait a minute. I think you getting deep. Hold tight. We gotta go back to Hawaii. It's about to get fish fried deep up in here when we come forward. More from John, Mountain View, Hawaii. Y'all better join, John. Y'all better join, John. What up, Xylon? What up, y'all? How's everybody doing? What's going on? Reggie Lewis, what up? Hey, we need 3 more callers in here. What up, Reggie Lewis? I saw you. I know what you meant the first time. Everybody hit that like button. Hit that like button. We're on a 6-minute break. Now's the time to hit that Cash App. If you want to support, go to my Cash App, $ Zoe What Netter. $Zoe What Netter. $ Zoe What Netter. $Zoe What Netter. Let's see. I know for sure I was co-signing Biden or Trump. He who thinks. Honor, salute. Thank you all. What up, what up? Where everybody at? I need 2 more callers. Get in here. Talk to your brother. Come on. Hey, those likes is slowly creeping up. Yeah, we done got 4 likes since I last mentioned it. Very appreciative. Hey, who saw today's what show? Attila, where you at? Huh? I'm surprised, Attila. I had hit you on Instagram about the book, G. I tapped the Cash App too. Appreciate the gift. What book? Reggie Lewis, what book? You talking about my book? You talking about someone else's book? And when did you send me a message on, you said Instagram. When did you send me? I'm sleepy. We got 3 minutes on this break. Give me some info, Reggie Lewis. Attila, all you need is a sip of Mountain Dew, and you'll be like, ding, 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 ding. What's happening? Who has said? What's your name, them? What? Just a sip of Mountain Dew. You ain't even got to drink the whole bottle. Just a sip of Mountain Dew. Bow. You'll be like, huh? Friday, the Lighthouse book. I had it going to the wrong house. Man, you got to email me that stuff. Email me your digital receipt, because I think I saw that order today. I'm going to be packaging them up tomorrow and shipping them out. You got to email me. Make sure you email me. VOR 106@gmail.com. Send it today. So when I go check it out in the morning, I'll have the information right in front of me. All right? Zoe, what's good? My wife thinks she can raise my sons by herself, ages 10 and 17. Call in, C Money. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, C Money. Remember, I mentioned those roles. Rev, get in here. Reverend, you should have been in here. C Money, call in 1-800-920-1580. Live in 1 minute. Here we go. Rico, thank you. Oh, really? That's dope, Rico. Reginald Lewis, thank you for the Cash App. I see a few people starting the Cash App. I appreciate it. Man, you have no idea how much I appreciate it when you guys heed the call to action. I really appreciate it. When I ask you to do something and you guys do it in numbers, man, I appreciate it. We got three or four Cash Apps during that break. So I appreciate it. Please, if you want a Cash App, do me that solid.
Alright. And I say this with love, alright? So, an issue that a lot of successful women have is thinking that their accomplishments and success is intimidating the men. And there are some men who exist who are intimidated. However, it's not just success, it's your energy. It's the attitude that comes with that. And the reality is that for a successful woman, many have bought into the idea that you have to hold on to masculine energy in the workplace to get ahead, to be respected.
Pause it. Wait a minute. Who did you say, Andy? Because as a man, I hear certain names floating around. Who did you say?
Amanda Seals.
I've heard Amanda Seals. I've heard Ebony K.
That was the second one I was going to mention.
But I mean, how else are they supposed to act in this society? Do you understand? Like I always say to the brothers, you mad at how the sisters are behaving, but you didn't direct them. You didn't raise them. You act like a version of them, just a male version. Yeah. Who is Puffy emulating? Weinsteins and hey, can we keep it real? Like, if they are, listen, I say this all the time. You can agree or disagree. It's not about you agreeing or disagreeing. Krishnamurti, it is no measure of health to be fully integrated into a sick society. So sisters have integrated into the society. There's no way you can't integrate, right? If you're moving up the ladder in all of these power spaces, of course they're going to be affected. So why you want them to? I heard somebody say, I want my woman to be a nurturing provider. What? Yeah, like, hey, huh? So you get mad at the sisters, right? Because they're demonstrating a certain way. But what have you done to cultivate your divine masculinity? Go ahead, Andy. I see Andy over there. He's ready.
I'm trying to figure out like what angle I should come at this, but I think, to piggyback on, what Stefan Speaks said, the attitude or whatnot. I think there are some, but not all. There are some women who, they get their education level is pretty high. They probably have a high paying job, right? And I think they take, like I said, some, but not all. They take solace sometimes in like sunning men, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I hear you.
You know what I'm saying?
I hear you. But do you agree with this? Because this is good right here. Do you agree with this? And we're going to get John back in here because I know he got something for us. But do you agree with this? I think a lot of men have spent so much time trying to conquer the world that they've ignored the inner work. And in ignoring the inner work, they think they can gain control over the woman via the bread.
True.
Right? Yeah. So what happens is you ain't done no inner work. You done got the bread. And now you want her to behave a certain way. And if she's educated, that education is going to irritate your lack of it.
I guess that's where we want things to be traditional.
That's when we be like, hey, bend the knee. You know what this is. And she don't want to bend the knee. This generation don't want to bend the knee unless there's some type of spiritual healing. Now, I will say this, and then I'm going to go back to John. Peep game on this, though. You got educated women who have done the same thing that men have done. They're starting to go our way, which is, I'm going to chase the world and I'm gonna try to get as much as I can get. And then they kind of put aside their internal healing. But now the responsibility is an expectation for the dude to carry. I gotta live. Do you understand what I'm saying? I gotta live a certain kind of way. I need to be soft. You need to make me. No, I can't make you soft. And I'm gonna tell brothers right now, run, run. When they show up, talk about you gotta bring the softness so I can be. Run. You're not a healed woman. You're not a whole woman. If you don't master your feminine kung fu, don't ask me to be your sifu. No, run. Get up out of there. Because it's going to be problematic. I promise you. All right, we got callers on the line. Let's get back to John. John, what's happening, man? What are your thoughts? Where John at? John? Come on, Mountain View. Come on, we got to... John. Where did John go? We done lost John. John, you got to call back. John done went down to the corner store. We gonna get John back. Reggie, Austin, Texas, get in here.
Man, it is clear that a lot of men hate women.
Keep going. Come on.
And they try to hide their hatred in traditionalism and in cultural mores and all of that. And they're just they're saying everything but I hate you in the way that they communicate. And I mean, just some of the clips that I've heard, maybe not on this show tonight, but just in conversation, I'm like, man, you just cannot stand this person. It's like have you ever seen Draymond Green analyze Rudy Gobert's basketball game?
Yes, I have.
He can't stand Rudy Gobert.
Right.
But he'll never say, I can't stand this guy. But like if you read between the lines, you could hear, and this man hates this other dude. It's just like that.
Right.
It's just, and I mean, intelligence isn't about reading the lines. Intelligence is about reading between the lines.
But this is a big point you're making. This is why I sometimes have to tell the sisters, just because he vehemently disagrees with you, it doesn't mean he doesn't like you. I think sometimes you'll get a particular type of woman who hasn't been heard, hasn't been made to feel heard, hasn't been made to feel seen. And if you disagree with her, you automatically get labeled as somebody who doesn't listen, or you trigger her in that way. You understand what I'm saying? And oftentimes men are not savvy enough to recognize, like, this ain't even about me. This is going back to childhood in some cases.
Right.
Go ahead.
Right. And you have an argument, an old argument with someone else. And it's just a continuation of an old argument that doesn't have anything to do with you necessarily. As far as this conversation is concerned, if you're intelligent, I mean truly intelligent, you can take hearing another viewpoint, and it doesn't knock anything that you believe or anything that you seek to be true. I mean, you can hold competing views simultaneously. That's what an intelligent person does.
But you know what's crazy? I think sometimes sisters marginalize their own intelligence because in a lot of ways they want what either they had or didn't have. Meaning, if they had a father who was dominant, that was telling them what to do and giving them direction, they may seek that in a man and then in turn make themselves smaller in order to take direction. You have some men who are, yes, I'll listen to what you have to say, but I gotta have the final say. Do you see what I'm saying? And if a man doesn't take the final say or actually says, you know what, this is what we doing, she may devalue him by saying, oh, well, he didn't take the initiative. So, I'm kind of rudderless here. I'm directionless. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. I can see it from both ways. Honestly, this man or some men have never been right. Like, have never been just, your word goes. Like they've never been in charge of anything. They've never been, given the responsibility of having this family and everyone who's under this roof does what I say. And because they've never had that authority, they have to flex it on somebody. And she just bears the brunt of that until she has the ability to get her own stuff, and she'll throw that in his face every time she gets, because it's just like a war between the two people. It really goes to compatibility. The bottom line, if I have to flex my authority all the time, then I'm not compatible with you.
Yeah.
That's just real.
Yeah.
But last thing, man, as far as this whole thing is concerned, I think you have to be able to hold competing views simultaneously. And if you can't, then that says that you have some work to do. Be it male or female, you have some work to do.
100%. I agree. Reggie in the building. What did you just do?
It's Fred Austin in the building.
Austin, Texas is in the building. If you want to bring your city, all you got to, yes, the phone lines are definitely on fire. But Ronan, we looking for you to jump in. The number to dial, 1-800-920-1580. When we come forward, we going back to Hawaii. We got Houston, Texas, and hopefully Indianapolis. Reggie always cooking, man. You know what I'm saying? Reggie always cooks. Hey, listen. Thank you guys for the Cash App. Not the Cash App. I haven't checked that again. On the Super Chat, we have $15.47. I want to say thank you guys for contributing. And also, please go to my Cash App. I'm pushing the Cash App today. Any support that I can get from you guys, I would greatly appreciate it. You already know it's a Monday. This is our busiest day of the week. This is my second show of the week. The Zoe show was great today. We had another Mansions. It was me, Ray Grady, and Bobby Glanton Smith. Yo, please, please, please show up and show out on your brother's Cash App. We're not asking for big stuff. If you got 5, 10, 15 on it, put it down. It's 50 people in here. We should make a definite impact if we all move as a collective. I appreciate everybody who's done it so far. If I haven't shouted out your name, it's only because for some reason the notifications aren't showing. All right? So please, please, please do your brother a solid. Go to my Cash App, $sign oh what Netter. What's up?
I want to push back on the narrative that us men hate women.
I'm gonna put you on the mic.
No,
you don't want to get on the mic.
I don't. I just think we don't like to be challenged.
We don't like to be challenged.
We don't like to be challenged, and I think we have issues.
No, but it's some dudes that hate women.
I'm surprised. I guess.
No, like if we be honest, like if we be like 100% honest,
yeah.
Like you gotta look at all men on a spectrum, and you gotta look at all women on a spectrum.
Fair enough.
Listening to say Kevin Samuels was like listening to the NWA version of hip hop when the first.
He sounded like he hated women.
Like what the fuck? Like
he was extreme with his shit.
Like, bitch, you ugly. And you ain't got no business talking shit at all, ugly bitch. Like, he went that way, and it was like, whoa.
Right.
Whoa. So, you understand what I'm saying? It's a spectrum.
Okay, fair enough.
And I do believe a lot of men have mommy issues. I do believe a lot of shit is... And then also, you got to remember, that's why we lean so heavy on the fucking social game rules. Social game rules, we ain't did no internal work. So it's like, I got everything you said I was supposed to have, so be quiet and do what I told you to do.
wife, Isabel, is very intelligent, certainly academically, and in most other ways too. She studied classics at Oxford, got in a year early despite struggling with her English as she's French. She's competed in national French literature and ancient Greek competitions, achieved a 19 out of 20 in her maths baccalaureate when it was exceptionally rare to do so. I mean, one of her close friends got an 18 out of 20 and then ended up doing a master's in physics at Cambridge. I mean, Isabel's dad was one of France's leading maths professors. Her mum has 5 degrees. But here's the thing. The only thing I found unattractive about Isabel when I first met her was that she was more intelligent than me. And I didn't tell her or anyone at the time that I felt this way. Men are intimidated by highly intelligent women, and we don't like to admit it. According to a 2015 academic study called Distance Makes the Heart Grow Fonder, men showed less attraction towards women who outsmarted them. Isabel was the only girl I got to know fairly well that didn't seem to admire my intelligence. You know, I'd like to have had a bit of subliminal intellectual admiration from my life partner, be that knight in shining armor. So when I told her going on holiday to Japan, she'd respond, "Oh, darling, what a wonderful, intelligent choice you've made. You're so wise." But Isabel was not going to give me any of that. It was Isabel's stepfather, an ex-Oxford Don, who once essentially described Isabel's mother in glowing terms with a heavy emphasis on her intelligence, which induced in me a paradigm shift. I began to think for the first time that perhaps I was seeing this the wrong way. Perhaps Isabel's intelligence could actually, possibly, be a positive. Now, a few years later, we were married, and I've really come...
That's wild. I want a super genius woman. I don't want a woman just in the background. Super genius. Make it make sense. I don't understand. A lot of men, I guess, don't like that. John, Mountain View, Hawaii, get in here, man, and finish it up, man. We lost you, but we got you back. What are your thoughts?
My AT&T phone acting like it's on boost mobile time. My bad.
It's all
but
good.
Anyway, my bad. But again, if I was intimidated by the intelligence of a woman, why would I lean on grandma so much? And why would I still want to see grandma in the light of women today?
I like that. I like that.
Again, I remember being at home with mom and taking instructions from mom, which was one thing. But mama had a grandma.
Right.
As in her mama.
Right.
And that woman had to been the epitome of what we know today as womanhood. And for most of us, we ain't got grandmothers because most of our grandmothers got tattoos and shaking their boots.
Right.
But at the same time, let the ebbs and tides flow. Again, the sun, the moon, the stars, and everything still rises and sets, and it's a beautiful thing, just like women. But just like women, we don't know when those ebbs, tides, flows, and all that is going to take control of us like a wave crashing over our heads during a hurricane, or when the sun gets a little bit too close to the earth and it burns us.
Okay, so if it's not their intelligence, what is it that we dislike or we find distasteful when we're dealing with highly educated women?
It's the ebbs and flows of who they are. They're still women.
So the ephemeral nature of women, the hot and cold, I got an attitude because they left the pickles off my sandwich. You talking about that? What are you talking?
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Again, do you control a woman at any of her levels at all?
None of them. No, you don't.
Thank you. So why are we being trying to be intimidated by something we can't control? It's called chaos for a reason, sir.
Yeah.
Find the direction, put it in its direction, and let it go.
Come on, John. I love it. Hey, John, guess what you just did, brother?
With my Boost mobile phone, I finally brought Mountain View now.
Yes, sir. Mountain View, Hawaii. Aloha. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. Uh-oh. It looks like the sisters are responding. Uh-oh, it looks like the sisters are on the line, and the sisters got something to say because I believe they have an entirely different take on this subject, right? The discomfort, the discomfort some men feel around intelligent women may also be rooted in societal conditioning that equates male dominance with intellectual superiority. Yeesh. Is that true? 1-800-920-1580. I want to know. Listen, when I come forward for hour number 2, we're going to get the sisters' take on this. And all I got to say is, brothers, buckle up. Well, that's too bad, Chris. So are you saying it's me? Are you saying I'm the reason? What are you saying, Chris Cole 83? Are you, no disrespect to you, but you gave my long-term relationship some intelligent advice and she tried using it on me and we're no longer together. Not to say it was you, but she was using your talking point. So you are saying it's me. Like, which one? It Did she break up with you because you didn't know how to make up your mind? Like, you gonna say it's me and then say it's not me? Which, and you said it was intelligent? Like, I can see if you say, oh man, you gave us some bad advice, man. It was some stupid shit. And then, like, you didn't even say that. You said it was intelligent. I'm just trying to understand. Yo, we lost that caller from Dallas. We lost that caller. We lost one from Dallas. Hopefully we can get him back. No, I'm just trying to understand, like, what are you trying to say? Did you not listen, or was she misusing? Yeah, I'm trying to get, like, I'm not saying it's you, but it's you. I'm not blaming you, but I didn't get what I wanted out of the good advice, the intelligent advice she gave. Like, what? I'm confused in a motherfucker, man. That's classic nasty work. Stop talking sense into people. Passive aggressive rebuke. You know, I'm mad at you for the shit you did. I'm trying not to be disrespectful. It isn't you. I'm just saying that what I learned from you, she was trying to use against me in a weird manner. But if you learned it and she learned it, how? I'm trying to understand. Did y'all learn it together? Did I talk to you guys together? Like, I'm confused. Now, if that's what he's saying, maybe she's trying to manipulate. Okay, then I can walk with you. I'm just, okay.
Betrayal has been committed. Hit you with a bad touch routine. How does he maintain his pomposity? He likes it when it pinches the lip. Why can't you open up, brother? I'm a karate man. Karate man on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses. Yeah. How do you make women so well? So William, reason and accountability. The voice of reason. So do you intimidate men? How I love this question. Okay, so as women, we're always asking ourselves why the men we meet are falling head over heels for us, right? And we ask ourselves that question even if we didn't really like the guy. Because, of course, what he thinks of us is more important than what we think of him, right? If you're a woman who worries about not measuring up,
You might think that he's not calling you back because you're not thin enough or pretty enough or sexy enough. Or you might think you're too smart or you're too successful or you're a strong woman and men just don't like strong women. Now that last one is just plain weird. You're a strong woman and men just don't like strong women? Like, does that even make any sense? Can men really not handle strong women? Hi, I'm Amy Waterman, a dating and relationship expert with YourBrilliance.com. And in this video series, I give you the short answer to love's biggest questions. So you've probably been told that men don't like to feel as if you're competing with them. It's like you're trying to be the man in the relationship, and there's only room for one man in any relationship. You've probably also been told that you have to be more feminine. You've got to take a passive role. You've got to follow his lead, and whatever you do not correct him. So what you're really hearing is that men are emotionally fragile and unable to handle a relationship without strict gender roles that keep them in charge. Like, seriously? That is rude. It's rude to the men we love. Because if we genuinely love men, and I know you do, we've got to start treating them like real human beings, not superficial stereotypes.
And because a lot of us are emotionally fragile, listen, relationship is a mirror. It's not just a statement. A man's emotional fragility opens the door for the covert control that his woman will exert over him. Now she has to manipulate and maneuver, right? In order to cajole you into a specific direction. Hey, honey, did you think about? Now, I know you don't like this, but... Do you see what I'm saying? Go ahead. Andy got something.
Like, I kind of know, but can you explain the emotional fragility in men, considering, you know, we were taught to not show emotion?
But look at how she framed it. Like, this is why men lean so heavy on the social game rules. Hey, you know, in order for the relationship to work, there had to be roles. You got a role, I got a role. My role is provision and protection. But it ain't got nothing to do with reflection or introspection or healing what you've been through. Or as long as I protect and provide, you shall not speak against your Lord. Do you see? And really, that's what it is. If I change your life and I raise you up socially, you better not say nothing to me out of pocket. I am your Lord. Look around these lands. My father has held these lands for many decades and eons. We have roamed these lands way back to the time of the Targaryens. I brought you here, you know? Listen, if you listen, it ain't got nothing to do with healing. That's why I say that those social game rules have nothing to do with healing. It has to do with control. And it's unfortunate, but that's what it is. Again, the discomfort some men feel around intelligent women may also be rooted in societal conditioning. That's part of your question. You said, what about not being able to feel? Listen, women have been conditioned in the reverse. We get to feel, and it's awkward when he feels deeply. This is why so many men feel unheard and unseen. Go ask my Uncle Bobby. Ask Bobby. Bobby, how you doing, man? I'm hanging in there. I said, no, you okay? He said, ain't nobody to complain to. Who gonna listen if I complain? Men have been conditioned, put it on your shoulder, keep going. And if a man really opens up and lets her know how he really feel, she gonna be like, what kind of peanut butter and jelly softy is this? And I'm not saying there aren't some women out there to be like, oh, that's an outpouring of emotion, and looking at it from a woman's perspective and say, I know I feel better if I were to release all of these feelings, you know. No, he got to go to a therapist for that. Right? You listen, you hear women saying it today. What do they say? Hey, I'm not your mama. I'm not your therapist. Don't come in here with your burdens, brother. So imagine a woman like that that's super intelligent too. Listen, I've been telling you to go back to school. I mean, it just looks bad. Here I am, a doctor, and you just got your associates. I'm not saying all women are like that. I'm just saying there's some that come down like that on a brother. Go ahead, Andy.
With all of that being said so far, it sounds as if it would be challenging for, generally speaking, a man to date like a sociologist.
Nah, you know what I find and this is different. A lot of highly educated women, they be with Pookie. Pookie be like, yo, my girl is a lawyer, dog. We gonna get up out of this situation. As soon as they give me my phone call, we finna be up out of this.
As soon as she starts saying you're stonewalling and you're gaslighting, he's gonna be like, huh? What? I ain't thinking like that.
I'm just saying, you'd be surprised. There are some women, and maybe these intelligent women feel like they have to settle because of scarcity. The scarcity of good men. Maybe they found a good man in Ray Ray. Listen, baby, I ain't on that no more. You understand? I got my little mechanics gig, you know what I'm saying? Got my little shop down here at the local gas station. I fix 3-4 cars a week. You understand? He's a solid brother. Maybe that's what it is. But from my experience, I've seen men be a little shook when a woman is intelligent. For me, intelligence is key. Condescension is the problem, right? Because what I get is competition. So just by default, women feel like, or the women I've dated, they feel like they got to be on some old, I'm as smart as you. And it's like, no, hey, if you are, great. And I'm sure you have, sparks of brilliance, and I'm going to listen to all of that. What I'm not going to listen to is competitive, combative condescension. Now, if you want me to be open to what you have to say, you're going to have to frame it a certain kind of way. And you're going to have to think contextually. What do you mean, think contextually? Yeah, look at the broader picture. Have a better understanding of it. It's like, oh, I got to sit here and listen and try to figure you out. Yes, if you want to be able to penetrate my mind. Otherwise, it's going to be a problem. Like, for instance, just if you understand contextually how I evolved to this point, well, first off, you can't talk to me any kind of way, right? You can't raise your voice. You can't, try to use put downs or insults or sarcasm. The best way to do it is to, hey, have you considered this? You don't have to do it, but have you considered it? Have you looked into this? Suggestions work really well with me. Now, if you telling me to do so, I told you that first, and I don't like the face wash. Women good at the face wash. They'll wash your face in something. Some women, y'all, they will wash your face in it. Have you ever had a situation where your woman told you something, you took time to process it, couple of days later, your cousin tell you the same thing. You go, you know, that's right, man. I'm going to do that. And because you didn't go back to her and say, you know, I was processing what you said and, you know, I was leaning towards doing it anyway. If she hears you tell your cousin that you about to do something that she suggested to you and she brings it back, you know, I was the first one to tell you that. And then your cousin come along. It's like, grown people shouldn't have to deal with each other's baggage. Do you understand? Chief Cole says, I'm guilty. You stole an idea. No, it's not like that. I think sometimes we get caught up in, you know, these types of conversations, but the reality of it is, if we make space to listen to each other, right? Just listen without judgment. That's the highest form of intelligence, according to Krishnamurti, right? You listen without judgment. I'm open, but you can't condescend or disrespect in any way, shape, or form. If you do, you know, you're going to cause me to put up a barrier. I'm not going to listen. You know, I'm going to shut down probably, right? And also, don't expect your man not to shut down when you're like that, right? Because when you shut down, he's going to come to you and be like, yo, talk to me, babe. Let's talk. But the whole shutdown, we do that to each other, and it's really terrible. Intelligence is a turn on for me, and I hear women say it all the time. Intelligence is a turn on for them until you turn that intelligence on them, or they turn their intelligence on you. It's good to sit back and watch your woman, you know, grill somebody, but what happens when she turns that intelligence on you and start grilling you? Very interesting. We got callers on the line. Let's get them all in here. Attila, Houston, Texas is on the line. Attila, what are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Man, the chat is going nuts.
Yeah, they are. I see it.
I mean, I have a few things. I think that when there's an imbalance between empathy and sympathy, we start getting little hateration strategies. That's what I've experienced as a woman. Like, everything that you just said, I've experienced that exact same thing. But I feel like that's more of an issue with people who are of a higher intelligence, period. You are going to have adversaries in the form of partners for the simple fact that you may be dating someone who's somewhat beneath you in a certain level, and they might feel insecure about that and just not have expressed it. And so I don't think that men in general are intimidated by women's intelligence if they have a certain level of a higher self-concept. If their self-concept is based on something external, you're going to have hell to pay. If he's pedestalizing and idolizing his granny and his mama, you're going to have hell to pay. And I'm going to tell you why. Because you are not those women, and you can't fill the shoes of those women.
Ooh.
If he can't actually accept you for you and not you for the qualities that you bring that remind him of someone else, what do you think that relationship's going to look like?
That's good.
That's annoying. That's no different than if a woman was sitting up in your face talking about a man that she admires all the time. How would you feel? That's the last thing a man wants to hear.
Right.
And yet, somehow, we're expected to bend to the nature of some woman that we may have never met. She might not even be alive. It's weird.
Just because she ain't alive don't mean she ain't alive in his heart, girl. Now, see, you done already tread across.
In your heart and don't bring her into my relationship.
You done already tread. See, you done tread across a sacred boundary right now. Go ahead.
You better memorize that and leave me alone. I'm not that woman. I'm sorry. I'll be it. Either you like that or you don't. And my thing is this. I think we as women, where we do ourselves a disservice is that we try to manipulate covertly, hoping that somehow that will appease the man that you're with. But I hate to say it, if he's got to mold and shape and pick and prod for you to be something else, you're in the wrong situation. Take your lessons and just move on at that point. So we play a role in that as well. The other side of this is that external praise fixation. There is no pleasing somebody who is addicted to external praise. I've seen it on male and female sides. I also feel like this plays a role as well partner is intimidated by their partner and on some level, they're going to make sure they can get that need met somewhere else because they feel that maybe whatever gifts you have might overshadow the praise that they feel they need that they're not getting from you, whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
So you see a lot of infidelity, a lot of weird situations, right?
Mm-hmm.
And again, I think it's just being open and honest about certain things. If you come to your partner and you say, hey, this might not be right. I might be looking at this completely wrong, but I'm just going to tell you how I feel about it. And I feel intimidated in this area. It's just the truth.
And I should be able to come to you and say that, right?
Well, you should, ideally, but you got to think about it this way. If that's something that you've never done in any other area of your life, why would you start now?
Stay with me.
Right?
Don't go nowhere. Stay right there. Stay right there. Lord have mercy. Attila from Houston, Texas is on fire. If you want to get on fire, all you got to do, call me right now, 1-800-920-1580. Man, Attila cooking. Everybody hit that like button. Let me see if we got any movement on the Cash App. Let me see. Hold on. All right. We got Reggie. We got LS. We got Xylon. And I think somebody, Daryl. Those are the people that hit the Cash App that I could see. I hear you're too analytical. You're thinking too much. Yo, Chris, that's a judgmental person. They're marginalizing how you see and how you process. Just based off of that, right? I hear you're too analytical, you're thinking too much. Okay, that may be the case, right? But the reality of it is, if you're expressing something in the moment, right, the content of what you're expressing, if expressed respectfully, should be considered instead of instead of attacking your process, right? So I'm going to attack your process. You're thinking too much. You're overthinking. You're too analytical. No. Address what I'm saying. Is there validity in what I'm saying? And oftentimes, attacking your process is the best way to not address what you're saying, right? What you're conveying, right? In many cases, well, you're overthinking, you're doing this, but you still haven't addressed. Like, guess what would stop the overthinking? If you actually addressed what I brought to your attention, right? It's really that simple. But oftentimes, you're going to get the game player, the manipulator that will address your process and not what you're expressing. Hey, we need Reverend Ratchet up in here. Maybe something Zoe said went over your head or somebody else's head. I don't even know if that's the case, but you can't pinpoint a concept. All I did was give you some concepts and different perspectives to look at. So you can't say, oh, this concept is what ruined the relationship. No, you ruined the relationship. And the woman you're with ruined the relationship. It's not the idea, right? That's where you take accountability. I have yet to see a philosophy or an ideation work that I didn't actually work, that I didn't bring into being. We got hit records. That's the person, bro. You should call in.
Turned off by intelligent women. Some, yes.
but not the best ones. I like to look at this in a pragmatic way, because we can mourn about how some men are intimidated by women's intelligence and have been since the beginning of time, or we can just look at what we can do to deal with that situation. Now, I want to distinguish for a moment between different forms of intelligence, or different archetypes of intelligent people. I think there's the academic, or I should say the pompous academic, because not all academics are bad, but the pompous academic who wears their intelligence as their weapon. This person is the person that makes everyone feel stupid, uses words no one understands a lot of the time, and talks in terms that no one can really relate to. Then there's the sarcastic, cutting comedian. This is the person who has not necessarily a deep knowledge of one area, but someone whose wit and speed of mind can make other people feel like they're slow. You say something, they immediately have a witty response to it, and they can cut you down sarcastically very quickly with things they say. Then there's the person who's socially intelligent. Now, the person who's socially intelligent has a natural intelligence, has a natural speed of mind, but when it comes to talking to people, they're able to read the room and know their audience. So they always know what kinds of conversations to be having around different people. They can talk with the intellectual elites and be curious and be interested and be interesting, or they can talk in more base terms with anybody else and just have fun and be silly and be entertaining. The most intelligent people I know are also socially intelligent. They know how to work a room, and they know how to make other people feel great. Intelligence is defined by the ability to acquire and apply knowledge. Now, there's two parts to that. The pompous academic just focuses on acquiring knowledge, but they don't necessarily focus on the right application of it. Knowledge is learning a 4-syllable word. Intelligence is knowing when to use it. Knowledge is being able...
Now, what's really deep about what he's saying, everything he said was anecdotal. So it's not like that was empirical study, right? That was empirical data, but that was a well thought out opinion. It's not the gospel truth. See, because I'm around people that I consider to be intelligent. And we love discovering new words, right? We read books, and part of the rule for reading the book is if you come across a word that you can't pronounce or that you've never seen, let's stop and look it up. And we look it up and we're like, yo, that's what that is. Do you understand? Like, so even in the skillful way that he articulated his point, it still wasn't peer-reviewed information. It was his opinion, right? And you could loosely see how some of that could align with some of our relationships. There are some people out there that try to sound deeper than they really are. There are some people out there that try to use, their intellect as a type of intellectual bully, try to throw it around, throw their weight around a little bit, right? And then there are some really intelligent people that are humorous, that are funny, gregarious, that bring people into the conversation, right? That it doesn't really matter who's right. It's more about, can we engage and exchange and share without judgment? And I think that type of intelligence is a very attractive kind of intelligence. Let's get Attila back in here for her final thought. Attila.
That's a prayer, right? Can you hear me?
Yes, we got you.
Oh, my bad. Okay, so my last thing I want to say, in regards to this whole thing, there's an element here I think we're missing, and that's permanence versus purpose. In terms of evaluating the people in our lives, and that's not just romantically, but friends as well. I think we have to remember that we're conditioned to value things that depreciate, and that includes the values within our partner. And so, yeah, that's my final thoughts.
I love it. Attila, girl, guess what you just did? Yeah, Houston, Texas is in the building. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. The phone lines are cracking. I want to get everybody up in here, but before I do, because we're up against the clock, before I bring you in, let's think about this really quickly. Men, I want you to be honest, right? Can the discomfort that some men feel around intelligent women be seen as a reflection of a broader societal anxiety about gender equality, right? Like, do we have a problem with women being equally smart, equally moneyed, right? Equally wise. Listen to that, equally wise. Are you afraid of your woman being a powerful spiritual being? Damn what's on the wall, the plaque on the wall, just a powerful being. Does your woman have to be your subordinate in some way in order for you to be comfortable? When we come forward, we will discuss this more. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm pointing. I don't know. Some people will hear this and be like, Zoe dissing women. Some people will hear this and be like, Zoe caping for women. I get that. I will get an intersection where some people will be like, yo, he disrespect women. Or some people be like, oh, this nigga caping for women. And I'll be like, do you not see the duality and the balance and the yin and yang in what I'm saying? Yo, what up? What up? What up? I hope everybody is good. We got 6 minutes. And then we're going to Cali Soul. Cali Soul, you're next. 6 minutes. It's too much thinking for some people, Zoe. No, I agree. Holistic perspectives are lost on many when fear and ego is at play. Yes. Some people be so smart, they stupid. Hey, don't forget, go to my Cash App. Please don't be stingy. Yes, go to my Cash App. Please, 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 $ Zoe What Netter. $ ZOWHATNETER. $ Zoe What Netter. The smallest amount is acceptable. $1, $2, $3, whatever you got to spare, please show your appreciation. Go to my Cash App right now and support the best way you know how. LS Jefferson also hit the Cash App. We appreciate LS Jefferson. I hope let me say this real quick, man. A friend of mine, I wanted to acknowledge this. This is a friend of mine who happens to be a seer, good sister. Happens to be a seer, very good sister. Man, she told me this morning that her daughter passed away at 3:41 a.m. And, you know, I haven't talked about it all day today, and it just came back to me because, you know, sometimes she would come in here and, you know, she would watch. She wouldn't say nothing. She would just come in and peep, you know. But she told me today, she was like, you know, I'm going to be off social media for a while. And then she was like, you know, my daughter passed. And I was like, yo, like, it just dawned on me. I was like, people, you don't really know what people are going through. Like, you really don't know. Like, people have a perception of who you are and who they think you are, and they have really no idea of what's actually going down. So, yeah, I just thought, my whole mind just got taken over, just thinking about LS, because LS is good people, man. LS came to the relationship masterclass. She came in person. She came to both days. And this is how good it was. LS was like, okay, second day, I'm going to be there, but I got to leave at 1 o'clock. Because I got a birthday to go to. I got stuff to do. I was like, yeah. No worries. You can leave at 1 o'clock. LS rolled up in there. That shit was so good. LS is the one who extended, if you were in the masterclass, which is for sale right now. You can still buy the masterclass both days. It's for sale right now. LS was the one at the end of the second day masterclass question and answer session. She was asking all the questions. She didn't leave until that thing was over. So it's very good, man. Very good. That's why people should never assume things about anyone. Like 100%. Yo, my stick, or is it called my stick or the stick? Hey, I don't know if you ever heard it.
The utility of the trait depends on the structure of the environment that surrounds it. And that's why there's variability in traits. And so you have to be careful when you're thinking about it from a strict scientific perspective to make the assumption that positioning at any place on the normal distribution is preferable to positioning anywhere else. Now, one exception to that might be IQ. Because one of the things that you can see with IQ is that people with higher IQs seem to do better, but that's also only true in complex societies. And then there's another problem that seems to emerge with IQ, and I don't know exactly what to make of this, but we know that as women's IQ increases, the probability that they're going to remain without a mate also increases, because women tend to mate across or up dominance hierarchies. And so if you're a woman with an IQ of 130, then you've already eliminated about 95% of the men.
Pause
and that's
that.
only using one criteria.
Is the data saying, sister, in order to have somebody, you gotta be dumb, or you gotta be dumb, or you gotta play dumb? Because I hear women say this a lot. A lot of women will confide, I have to hide my intelligence. I have to dumb it down. You already said if a woman's IQ reaches 130, boy, she's eliminated 90-some% of the available dudes. ladies, call in and let me know if you've experienced dumbing it down. And we're talking about your inner shine, your inner glow, your inner intellect, all of it. Just dumbing it down, dialing it all the way down so you can be more attractive to what is considered marriage material. Go ahead, finish the clip.
The limitations to the utility of intelligence with regards to reproduction that we don't really understand very well yet. So anyway, so you get the point. So there's these underlying, I kind of put down two value structures there, capitalize on social groups. That would be an extroverted value structure. Saying maintain order, that would be a conscientious strategy. And conscientious people are going to want to maintain order because they don't want things to shift across time, because if they shift too much across time, then the things that have been stored up for the future start to become increasingly irrelevant. There's lots of other reasons to maintain order as well, but that's one of them. So, all right, so that your cognitive ability allows you to do modeling. Now, this is where human beings have leaped ahead of their competition. So, animals can think, but it isn't exactly obvious how they think. They think strategically. I think they think the same way that children think, in some sense, when they're playing with Legos, when they're not thinking about the Legos, when they're just moving them around. We know, like, if you watch a smart predator group like lions go after their target, or watch chimpanzees hunt down a monkey, you can see intelligence at work, because hunting behavior is very, very complicated, obviously, especially if you're chasing something intelligent. But there isn't that level of abstract representation. So let's look at this. So here's a picture of the human brain with someone facing this way, right? So here's the
men. I'm asking the brothers too. Are y'all? If she's moneyed and highly educated and self-sustaining, is she less attractive to you? I need to know the truth, brothers. Andy, if she's got bread, she fine. Remember I used to say that back in the 90s? Fine. She fine, right? She got bread. She's got education, and she has her own resources. She's stable, with or without you. Does that make you feel like you cannot bring something to the table for her?
Not at all.
No. Okay. All right. Ladies, help me. 1-800-920-1580. We got Cali Soul, Denver, Colorado. Get in here. What are your thoughts on this? Good evening. Long time no hear. So happy to hear you. Glad you're back. Go ahead.
First of all, I just say, one sign of intelligence is knowing when to be quiet. Sometimes have I dumbed it down for folks? Absolutely. But I've learned to not look at it as dumbing things down and simple just intelligence, like knowing when to be quiet. It's not necessary to peacock. Why does somebody need to know, or you give an example of how intelligent you are? Another thing is, as a community, we are constantly at war out here in society. If we're successful at becoming educated, if we're successful at building a business, a brand, moving up a corporate ladder, that's war. And what soldiers do when war is over is they bring their artillery in, they clean it, prep it for the next war. And then they get their wounds addressed. A lot of times we forget when we come into our houses, when we come into our homes, both physically and spiritually, we're not at war no more. So you come in and you attack your partner. And we both just left war. We both need to regroup. We both need to recharge. We both need to be poured into. And if both of us just came from war, who's to do the wound dressing?
Come on. Triage. The MASH unit. We both need a MASH unit. Come on. I'm listening. Come on. Where's Alan Alda when we need him? Come on.
Come on. So, you know, we forget to lay down our arms and serve one another. I'm in my kitchen now processing harvest from my garden. And as you were speaking, I thought about it and I said, wow, we are constantly wanting to receive what we're not willing to give.
Ooh, keep going. Keep going.
To go out to my soil and look at it and say, I want green things, potatoes, yams, I want everything you've got. And then just walk away and expect it to happen, right? I gotta plant seeds. I gotta water those seeds. I gotta pull out weeds. I gotta take the first fruit. If we are just like gardens, what's so wrong with you planting the seed that we grow, and then your friend coming in and water it? And maybe your grandmother waters it some more, your homeboy waters it some more, and then suddenly you got a plant, and you got an understanding. So instead of me attacking you saying, I told you that 2 years ago, so like really? That don't make no sense. We have planted we're cultivating. That's how cultivation happens. And that's why relationships are so important. And we're not talking about just your romantic relationship. Every relationship that you have in your life, all of your friends, all of your coworkers, your neighbors, your community, we all serve one another. We have a symbiotic relationship.
Right.
And our human greed takes us away from that. We forget that. We think I gotta be your everything.
Right.
Your water gotta come from me, your fertilizer gotta come from me, your weeding and your pruning gotta come from me, and that's ridiculous. That's not the truth. That's not how it works.
Callie Soul, you made it. You made it worth the wait, young lady. I so appreciate you. Guess what you just did? Denver, Colorado is in the building. If you want to bring your folks in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. When we come forward, more from the nation, Indianapolis and Dallas. Hey, Callie served that thing up. Callie served that thing up. Yeah, we just had somebody else call, but they hung up. All over the nation with it. Y'all know what it is. Reverend L. We're going to Ronan and then Reverend L. Hey, don't forget, Cash App your brother. Truemonger said, not me tonight. That's all right. Don't forget, hit that Cash App. Let me see if somebody else did it so I can shout them out. Daryl and Elevation. Elevation, thank you for that little 2 spot. Listen, I'm going to tell you right now. Any little bit helps, so we appreciate it. Any little bit helps. No, that little 2 spot worked, boy. Shit, I'm gonna take that 2 spot. When I tell you, nothing but love, brother. Yep. Hey! Yeah. 60 seconds, y'all. Big Fish, what up, y'all? Huh? Is it long or short? Is it a brother? Huh? No. We're going to get right to the callers and let them have a little minute. Because only this show, now tell me this show didn't zip by. Tell me this show didn't just get up out of here. Yes, 10 minutes left in the show. That shit's crazy. Man, do you know how incredible the time was? I mean, first and foremost, all the songs are written and produced by Prince. So that's crazy off rip. But for Prince to be able to find the musicians to execute his sound the way he wanted it played is crazy, right? And then you have to remember Morris Day was initially a drummer, plays the drums. And what's crazy is Prince is like, nah, man, sing lead. Of course, it was supposed to be Alexander O'Neal, but Alexander was like, Prince is a baller. I want bread. And Prince was trying to like kind of organically grow this group. Think about who comes out of the group. Alexander O'Neal was supposed to be in the group, didn't come out the group, right? Wasn't a part of the group, but later becomes this big star, great singer, great songs, produced by two members from the group, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. They become two of the greatest producers in the history of music. And they were a part of the time. Like, that's crazy. So when you go back and you listen to the funk records of the time, man, they, no pun intended, they were timeless. All right, let me get my callers in here. We got Ronan from Indianapolis. Here we go, Ronan. Oh Lord. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic, bro? Here we go.
I'm not intimidated by a woman's intelligence. I'm more terrified if she's like short bus sexy.
What? If she's what?
Short bus sexy.
Short but sexy?
No, short bus sexy.
Short bus sexy. Okay. Now you what does that mean? What does that even?
She's very easy on the eyes until she opens her mouth, and then because I have a thing that's a 3 squint rule, and within 12 hours, if she's talking about something, I squint real hard, we ain't gonna make it.
You got the 3 squint rule.
Yeah, it's just like that. But the thing is, like, it's good to have an intelligent woman because that's what I get turned on by a lot. If she's intelligent, because if she's able to show that range comfortably, then yeah, that's cool. But the thing is, like, if there's no respect there, I don't care how intelligent you are, I don't need to be there.
Well, if there's no respect, there's no intelligence. Because intelligence encompasses respect. First off, we have to start thinking about it in different ways. A healthy relationship is an intelligent relationship. It's a thoughtful relationship, right? It's a considerate relationship. And a considerate doesn't just mean consider my feelings. It means consider everything that has happened that led us to this point. So many people are all on the consider my feelings piece, but they're not like looking at the whole thing. Like, let me consider how you became the person you are today. And how this person, although better than who they were 5 years ago, is still capable of not only hurting me, but they also have the capacity of being accountable for that hurt. Like, that is an intelligent couple if they're able to do that. Go ahead.
And the thing is, like, it goes back to intelligence. That doesn't mean anything if you're an interpersonal idiot.
Oh, here we go. What is that?
The thing is, like, most people like to hide themselves with the allure of intelligence, like being book smart, but some are street smart, some are not socially adept, some are emotionally, actually empathetically challenged. So when you see those gaping holes in that, you're not as intelligent as you believe you are. So the thing is, you don't have to sit there and fight the person you're with to try to prove yourself. If you're actually intelligent enough to know you don't know everything, you leave room to not just improve, but to make yourself more attractive, open up more opportunities for yourself and as a broad, because you're supposed to be a reflection of me and my choices, and vice versa.
I love it. Hey, I love it. Ronan, guess what you just did, brother?
So Indianapolis back in the building.
Yeah, we appreciate Indianapolis. Now we up to Dallas, Texas. And listeners, don't get mad if I don't push back and challenge people. This is a non-judgmental space. I allow them to speak. Here we go. Reverend L, Dallas, Texas. Get in here.
What's up, brothers? I'm going to keep it real short and sweet for you tonight. We were talking about there's so many different approaches to this topic, man. This can go anywhere. But I want to touch on this. You know how you got some men that brag about the money that they make and they lead with their money? That's kind of like cornball behavior. That's how some of these women act who boast about the educational accomplishments and try to force those upon men and stuff like that. It's the same thing. It's the same thing, trying to belittle and try to, like I said, step on people's toes and cause these type of conflictions and stuff. So that's one avenue.
Give me another one.
Second avenue is you got some women that want a stupid man.
Oh.
They want a stupid man because they want to be able to run the show. And that man, he knows he's stupid. So he's okay with it because he's in a safe place. So they both are being used, but they're happily being used because he's protected and she's loved.
So Lord have, you got it. Okay, give me another one. I want somebody called that the Dumb and Dumber relationship, but give me another one. Come on.
You got some women that they look at a man's accomplishments and they say, oh, okay, well, you're book smart and I'm street smart, or vice versa. Or I'm book smart, you're street smart. Why you can't be both? Or why you even put me in a category like that? Just go ahead and appreciate the person while you have them and use what they have to grow yourself.
That's interesting. Oh, that's fire. Let me ask you this. Do you really believe that there are some women out there who lead with their degree, hoping to find a man that leads with his wallet?
Absolutely. My job, my field that I'm in education. So these women, they walk around, I'm master this and this, that, and the other and everything, and they're looking for men in their category, but they're looking for men that want to lead with their money or in that type of direction. And that's cool, but a man will respect you for who you are beyond what you can what you present to them. If they can show that, oh, you know what, this lady, she's intelligent, we can help each other and grow each other instead of her putting an umbrella on top of him, thinking that, oh, I'm better than you because I got 2 masters or 3 masters or whatever. That don't mean anything.
Man.
That just means you were able to be in school a little bit longer than the next person. You never know why somebody can't go to school and why somebody can or can't. It has nothing to do with just the education.
Right.
A lot of times that financial hurts.
Right. Brother, let me just say this, man. I wish I would have got you on earlier because you completely fire right now. Hey, let me tell you, you brought Dallas, Texas in the building, man. We appreciate everybody for tapping in. You ain't got to agree. Again, I start the conversation, you finish it. I'll be back tomorrow with another slapper. Let's do it. Hey. Hey, man, y'all cook. Hey, this was good. This was a great topic. Y'all did y'all thing. 2 shows. Done and doner. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Up out of here. You already know. Great topic. L Ratchet. Everybody who called in. Cali Soul. Everybody who brought it. Man, nothing but love for everybody out here. Nothing but love. Shit. All right, y'all. Deuces.